If there's one thing that has taken a prominent place on many a bucket list, it's writing a novel. Now, if you've never written before, then the idea of putting thousands of words on hundreds of pages may seem like a daunting task. Through this video series, I'm going to show you that with the right amount of dedication, you too can be a pretentious snob. My name's Julian Tunru, I'm the author of the Dav Ivan historical fiction series, and this is the nearly complete guide to writing your novel. Episode 1, Getting Your Shit Together. Now, in essence, any aspiring novelist requires three things only: something to write with, something to write on, and a family-sized bag of Skittles. Now, there's many other writing aids that some authors prefer and some others do not, but we'll get to those in a later episode. For now, just make sure you've got these three basics covered. You might expect me to give you one golden rule of writing that will suddenly magically make you a better author, and if you're really clever you might think I'll now tell you that there is no such rule. Well, you're wrong, there is. Never use Comic Sans, because if you do, I will come to your house and eat your babies. Now, other than that, there are indeed no set rules. Writing is an art form, not an exact science, and that means you get to mess around as much as you'd like. However, there's a few conventions that are so widely accepted that they're close to being gospel. If you find yourself about to dismiss any advice that I've given you, ask yourself this: am I doing this because it will make my story better, or do I just really want a monkey sidekick? If you find yourself in the former category, please go ahead and break the rules. However, if you don't, go through that famous novelist rite of passage, swallow your pride and kill your darlings. And that brings us to the one universal truth that all aspiring writers must acknowledge: you suck at writing. Now, sure, there are varying degrees of suckiness in your grammar that say show some real potential, but the truth is that all great writers were at one point terrible. If you somehow believe that you're a unique little snowflake that's exempt from this truth, please go ahead and bury your first draft, dig it up in 2 or 3 years, and then punch yourself in the face through the space-time continuum. The good news is, there is no shame in this. The reason we all start out bad is because being a good writer is for a large part about finding a style that suits you. Everything you now think is brilliant and unique is really just decades worth of cliches that you've subconsciously picked up. There is, however, one very simple solution to this problem: start writing. The best way to overcome the nightmare that is an empty page is to fill it with words. They don't have to be great words, they don't even have to be good. As long as they're on the page, you are now a writer. Jot down all these little gems that made you want to write a novel in the first place, and then everything you came up with while doing that. Whenever you feel there is no more inspiration left, read back your first writings and bask in the glow of your own terribleness. Notice how every other sentence features the word said, or how you cleverly had someone expostulate just to avoid that pitfall. Realize that fancy speech you wrote came straight from the movie Braveheart, or that for pages at a time no one really seems to be doing anything. Seen all that? You are now a way better writer than you were before, and in essence, improving as an author is repeating this process over and over. Don't expect to be the new Shakespeare just yet, but enjoy that magnificent feeling of having your story come to life. Even if none of it makes it into your final draft, the fact that you're creating an entire story world is a huge accomplishment. Keep this in the back of your head, and every word you write will bring you one step closer to that finished novel. And along the way, you'll notice that some of what you wrote is actually halfway decent, and then maybe pretty good, and if you're really lucky, one day you'll read back your own writings and go, holy shit, that was great. Now, you might be wondering, who am I to tell you all this, and you're perfectly right to do so. Like every author, I too have ample room for improvement myself, and if you read through my novels, no doubt you'll find plenty to criticize. This is fine. Improving as an author is a race that has no finish line, and all I mean to do is to get you started. So for now, just open up a new document, throw back a handful of Skittles, and get your ass to work.